Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the 27th
installment
edition of WAW. But you see, my co-partner is a little different tonight.
Very different.
Yeah.
Lots different.
Yeah.
You know that I'm oddly...
You got a haircut.
I'm so not going to win. If Eddie comes on and there's the hair contest, it's done. I'm done. There's not even a competition.
That was part of the driving force to get you here because I knew there would be no competition at all.
Yeah.
So
I'm oddly nervous.
Yeah. Well, welcome Gary Gig Grantham.
Thank you.
To our show because this is us.
Yeah.
It's not us.
No.
But it's kind of us.
It is. I really was honored to accept the post.
Oh, hey, you got stuff coming in.
Hi, Pamela. Well, of course, many of you know that Jim. First of all, Jim is in 37,
like 38,
37, 38 tribute bands, or 9. He has subs in every band that he performs in, and now he has a sub for WAW as well. He is out earning the bread, playing the music of bread tonight. What is the name of the group? Get the Bread Out.
So basically, are you telling me that he has a sub for his wife?
Yeah, there's a sub here tonight. Isn't that bad?
I mean, that is just taking it to the limit. I don't know, man.
Well, I was honored to accept the post. I'm doing it mostly because I want to screw with Katie Darrell.
Yeah.
Carrie Darrell. Katie and I had a sort of a running banter because I think, I used to kind of sneak on to the old World According to Woot, and I'd be around, and then I was a guest once.
You did.
And then she got her guest shot, and she screwed with me, saying, well, good, if Gig can be on, why can't I be on?
She was a little put out that you were on before her.
I think so.
She was. No, she said she was.
But you were, really?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, wow.
She did.
Well, then
she was a little put out.
I did a text exchange with her, and this was now quite some time ago, but I said something like, oh, yeah, I'm on my way to the Woot, or I'm going to be on World According to Woot tonight. And she said, so help me if you get another turn.
Yeah, I know. Well, he just got another turn, Katie. But you know what? Gig is going to guest spot tonight, and we will have you on as a guest. No diss to you, but I'm just saying we'll have.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll have Katie on as a
guest.
Oh,
of course. Yes.
Twice.
I know.
Because if I put you on before her, there's going to be
hell to pay.
Yeah, there's not going to be good.
Well, and because it's not Wooten and Wooten tonight, it's Wooten and Grantham.
That's right.
We're calling it the World According to Groot.
Yep. So here's our little mascot right here. This is Groot. World According to Groot. Wooten and Grantham.
I was doing I texted Masha McSorley the next day, Thursday, after her appearance. And just to tell her that I thought she was a superb guest, really, really a superb guest, and how wonderful it was to get to know things about her.
Yeah.
And I told her in this text exchange that I was going to be co-hosting with you tonight. And she said, as long as there's bickering, I want there to be bickering.
Well, there's always bickering with us. I mean, that's pretty natural. So you were the best choice.
Because I can bicker with you.
Yeah, and we do bicker.
We will.
We do bicker. I mean, I feel like you bicker a little more than I bicker.
Bicker more than you do.
No, I feel like you did.
Really?
Yeah, you always do. You're always a little more confrontational than me.
I'm less tolerant. See, it's starting.
I don't know. But let's get to the important things. Who's having the better hair day, guys?
Wait a minute. Did I just see Eddie's there? Oh, Eddie's there.
Eddie.
Yeah,
you gotta give it to me tonight.
Eddie says, can I sub for Jimmy's hair? Yeah.
Hello, Larry. Hello, Pamela. Hello, Todd. You
guys,
thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We are again. Gig is sitting in for Jim because Jim is playing with a bread tribute tonight.
Yes.
At Hemet Theater. Hemet Theater. So thank you so much for joining me.
It really is my
pleasure. I appreciate.
Although I think the main light is more on you. I'd like to. I think you have more glow than I do.
Don't be a hater just because I naturally glow. Don't be changing the lights here. This is my show. Okay. You guys. Just see how I glow?
I know.
It's natural.
And also, hey, look at the beverages. You always do this, right?
Yes.
Now I'm drinking water, much as Jim does.
I'm actually drinking water tonight.
Blondie's drinking water.
That's not that doesn't mean I won't be drinking wine later, but tonight, I decided to drink water out of my Blondie collection mug. And you know what? Let's segue right into that, because I make mugs. And if you want a mug, order a mug from me. I will make you a custom made mug with your name on it. It's actually not called a mug.
No. What is it called?
It's called a tumbler.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Did you say mug or did I?
That was all you.
I feel like you said mug.
I don't think I even
uttered
that word.
I thought I heard mug. Okay.
Jim would say, "Oh, stop."
Anyway, you guys, we have
and then he'd say, "See what I have to put up with?"
I know. I'm just, yeah he does say that. You're right.
You see what I'm dealing with, people? And he'd put his big paw like this, and he'd say, "Guys, here's the thing."
And then he'll slap his leg really hard.
I kind of broke him of that habit a little bit, because I told him, Jim's hands are like baseball gloves.
They are.
They're like huge. 8 pounds each. And he would raise them and for emphasis, and he'd say, "So let me tell you a thing." And I'd always say, every time you slap your leg, the microphone kind of condenses and shuts off, and we miss the next couple of sentences.
He does have really big claws, and my mom's my Facebook friend, so that's where I'll stop.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Well, we have a really, really special guest tonight, and will you tell us about our special guest?
I will. Yeah. Well, it's Jill Marie Burke. Those of you in the tribute world, which I think constitutes a lot of the WAW audience, probably know Jill most for her work in her Pat Benatar tribute band, Live from Earth. But, what we'll learn is a lot more about her. And I realize I'm just going to be repeating these things when I introduce her in a few minutes.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. We asked Jill to come on just because she is, one, a good friend of ours, and two, part of a band that is a great band. It's Pat Benatar. I love Pat Benatar. I've always loved Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
And she does a darn good job doing it. So we're excited to have her on. We're excited to see what other projects she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
She does a lot of other things besides Pat Benatar.
She does. Yeah. So, always has.
Yeah.
And,
so we won't tell you now, but we'll talk about it later.
What else do you guys normally talk about?
So we talk about Calvin. Calvin is a good friend of ours, and Calvin is... Do you go to Calvin?
I don't go to Calvin, and I've said this before, but there's only one reason that I don't, and that is that I have a relationship with a mechanic who's great, and their shop just happens to be on the property where my office is. So literally I go out the back door of the office building, and right across the parking lot, yards away,
well, you can't beat that.
Is where my car's being worked on. So otherwise, it would be Calvin all the way.
Well, we go to Calvin, and I'll tell you, we spent years being completely ripped off by every mechanic that would see me coming or Jim coming, because neither one of us. Blonde. Yeah, I'm telling you, we got taken so many times. So we were so grateful to find Calvin, and Calvin is so gracious to offer WAW 10% if you walk into Calvin's Auto Repair, mention WAW. As Jim says, if you mention WAW,
he will charge you an extra 10%.
He will charge you an extra 10%. I will tell you that he will take off an extra 10% if you mention WAW. So walk into Calvin's shop. Calvin is in Glendale, California. His address is 501 East Glen Oaks Boulevard in Glendale, California. Again, walk in, mention WAW, and he will give you 10% off of whatever service you walk in for. So again, Calvin's Auto Repair, 501 East Glen Oaks Boulevard, mention WAW, 10% off.
I think even I know that
of your new engine.
I've heard you say it so many times. Jim usually at this point, I think, goes into what's going on, what's coming up, sort of in the gig realm. And I'll do a little bit of that, I suppose. I can tell you, at least those of you who know anything about this stranger sitting here, you know that TLR, the Long Run Experience of the Eagles, is my primary tribute project.
That's right.
At least the one I perform in most. A few gigs I can mention to look for in the coming month. Coming right up, September 4, TLR is back at Agora Canyon Club. The following week, September 11th, TLR is going to be at the historic Hemet Theater for the first time. All the other tributes, as you know, have made a regular stop there at least once a year. We never have, but we are now. September 11th, they're holding a special event, and I don't know if it's a fundraiser or if it's just for the purpose of honoring the 9/11 first responders.
Oh, nice.
So that is actually going to be something special that we're looking forward to participating in.
And I don't think Jim is on that one, is he?
No.
I hate that.
Well, and September is going to be a month of a number of special guests. We got some fun people coming in, some of whom you've seen play with us before, some of whom you haven't. I think September 17, we're in the city of Ontario for a thing called the Route 66 Cruise and Reunion. September 25, TLR is back at Santa Clarita Canyon.
Nice.
So
nice.
That's about enough of that.
All right.
That's enough of the shameless promotion.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, are we ready to bring on our guests, which we are so excited about?
Sure, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, that's my responsibility, right?
Well, it is. Yes.
And then you, yeah. Okay. Is it my responsibility?
I feel like it is.
I think it is. I get the pleasure of actually introducing Jill. Jill and I have known each other, I think, 8 or 9 years. And Jill is a really busy arts professional, always has been. She's a triple threat performer, singer, dancer, actor, director, teacher, band leader. And she's got a really, really diverse background and resume, and just has a lot of things going on always. So we'll be able to dig into those.
All right. Well, let's take a look at Jill in action. Wow.
Jill.
That was fantastic. Wow. Wow. You must get a major workout. First of all, welcome, Jill Marie Burke. We're so thrilled to have you on our show. Cheers.
What are you drinking?
Cheers.
This really is water.
Oh, we are so.
Show your beverage of choice. Hello.
By
the way, this tastes a little like onions. I'm not sure why. Is it the detergent you use?
Maybe.
Sorry. But it really does. There's an onion essence to this water.
Wow. Well, maybe
Must be good for the skin.
Maybe an onion got in the dishwasher. But it's not bad for you.
Hey Jill, sorry. Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in. Uh-oh. My earrings.
Do you want to kick things off, Brett? Okay, she's gone. Well, first of all, we can. I mean,
I'm done.
I'm here. My earring fell off.
We can go back to your humble beginnings, but it's also an easy springboard just to talk about where you are as we speak and why you're there.
Yes. Yes.
So, this lovely background here. Look at this lovely bouquet behind me, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Yes, I am in my condo, furnished to me by Legends in Concert, because I'm out here doing a contract for them in Branson, Missouri.
Yes.
I've been out here since my contract started August 1st, and then I'm out here until September 9th.
We, of course, know that your first contract was with Legends in Vegas.
Correct.
Legends in Vegas at the Tropicana.
Yes.
Saw you out there. And that, it's one of the things that makes you unique, kind of sets you apart in the tribute scene, because you get to do this, and it's a great fit for you. I've always thought that it's this is one of the things that you should be doing. How is it?
Yes, well, I mean, in case anybody doesn't know, the Legends in Concert has been around for 30 plus years. It's probably the #1 tribute show ever. And so in 2019, they finally brought me on to do Pat. They were trying to get me a couple of times. It wasn't available. So finally, 2019, I said, I can do it. And I was in a lineup on stage with folks like Freddie Mercury and Lady Gaga, and
right.
of course Elvis. You have to have an Elvis.
Yeah.
And so you get to come out and do your 15 or so minute set of whatever you've created, all the hits, a medley, and a couple of other songs, whatever fits in 15 minutes, to highlight. They do living legends, legends in the making, legends that are no longer with us. And so I did that again, 2019. And then, of course, 2020 happened and everything kind of went away for a while. And then here in 2021, they were able to bring me on in Branson here, out in Missouri. Awesome.
Well, and we were very privileged to be able to see Jill in Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah.
And I actually have a video, since we're on the subject, of you performing. And I wanted to say, not only do you perform, but you have to dance with dancers. So that means you have to have rehearsals and learn the same steps as they do. Now, do you rehearse with the dancers, or is it something that they learn the dance and you learn the dance and you come together and do it on stage?
A lot of it, mostly it's done separately. So
wow.
The dancers are usually at wherever the city or site is, and they've rehearsed. Typically, I come in about a day or two before my contract starts, and then they just slide me in.
Oh, my word.
And it's just like, y'all better know what you're doing. And
oh my gosh! You have 2 days. You have 2 days to learn the dance.
Well, I mean, 2019, it was brand new. And then with this cast here in Branson, it's been around for a bit. So these dancers were a little more familiar. They learned it off video. The number of dancers is a little fewer here in Branson. So it was just a matter of reblocking. Okay, we don't have a whole stage full. Now it's a smaller group. And then we just sort of decide, in a couple of minutes, okay, you go here, you go here, you go here. Let's do the dance. What do you know differently? What's the same? Throw it together. I had a 1 hour rehearsal with them and the band, the house band. And then the next day I went on and did it.
Wow. Do you want to take a look
at
the video?
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at this fantastic video. This is great. And this is a little bit of what we got to see in Vegas, which was a super fun show. Wow.
How many shows a week are you doing in Branson, Jill? And do you have multiple performances, say, on Saturdays?
You know, I thought I was coming in. There was a time here in Branson they were doing 2 shows a day. So I thought initially I was coming in to do 2 shows a day, but they chopped it down to 1 show a day, 1 day off. So 6 shows a week, which is what I was doing in Las Vegas. So it's and in fact today is my day off. So that's typically I might be at the theater right now. So instead, you know, I have the day off.
Wow, good job. Well, you get to spend it with us, and we feel privileged to spend it with you. I can't tell you how happy we are to have you here.
Yeah. Well, as I said, and that, you know, that gig is a great fit for you because of where you come from. And, you know, I've said this to other people. Brenda's heard me say it many times. Jim's heard me say it many times. But like a couple other of the guests that were on WAW, and the ones I think of immediately are, say, Julie Dolan, Juan Del Castillo, people that come from really diverse entertainment backgrounds, a lot of theater foundation, a lot of stuff before the tribute work. And that gives you that wonderful foundation of sort of theater 101, if nothing else, where you understand, you know, movement is purposeful.
Yeah.
You can hit a mark and hold it, you know, and not strange, you know, it seems fundamental to many of us, but not everybody can, you know, simply, you know. But you're used to production. You're used to those kinds of rigors and that kind of discipline. So, you know, it's, again, turnkey for you.
So Sal throws you a good compliment, has one of the most agile voices anywhere in music. So much power, subtle grace. Just love it. So nice compliment there from Sal. So let's go back to the very beginning, Jill. Where were you born? Where did this all start?
Oh my gosh. I was born in Bellflower, California.
Wow. Okay. So you're a California girl.
I am. And I know it's kind of unusual. People are always like, really? You're an LA native? And I'm like, I am. I was born in the Kaiser. I was born in the Kaiser in Bellflower, California.
I'm Kaiser baby. Yeah, we're Kaiser babies. That's right.
That's right. So and then I grew up in La Mirada. Kaiser babies rock.
Oh God.
Yes.
Kaiser. I've known Kaiser forever. I don't know where where else to go. That's just as part of the family. They have a long history on me.
Yes. Yes. True. So Bellflower, were you born and raised in Bellflower as well?
No, I grew up in La Mirada and in the same house for 27 years, and my parents are both still living in that house right now in La Mirada.
How special is that? That's pretty cool.
They're still here.
Yeah.
And I think what inspired me to sing, or what inspired me to get into the entertainment business, is it's sort of weird. It's not even a matter of like, was I inspired? I just didn't see myself doing anything else. But I don't think it was ever just a question, kids just sit there and they wonder, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do? They get into college. They still don't know the direction they want to go in. I just always knew it wasn't a question of what I was going to do, but it's always a kind of a question of how am I going to do it? So I always knew I was just going to be in the entertainment industry. Didn't necessarily know I was going to be a singer, but I'd certainly get really excited when Disney commercials would come on. I would just scream. I couldn't contain myself. Disney was like, oh my God, I didn't know what to do. But I did start singing about the age of 3. That started early.
Was it the kind of thing where your parents recognized, they had to have recognized that that's where you were headed, that that's what you loved doing? And were they extremely encouraging all the way along, getting you the lessons you needed and getting you the opportunities you needed to start that early training experience?
Well, I think they were always supportive. I don't know if they knew what to make of it, though. I wouldn't say they were discouraging ever. They never told me not to do it. I just sort of led the way, and they followed along and always showed up to my performances. Were every high school musical, every high school play, whatever it was. When I got into college is only when I started studying voice privately. And just again, they just didn't know. I was the weird one, and everybody else. We had a very adventurous family. Every single sibling had something very unconventional almost to do in their lives.
Oh,
so
that's fun.
I was the entertainer.
Wow. And a good one you are. And a good one you are. We have Jim Wooten joining us. He's saying hello right now. And
World according to Gert.
Ray Coco and Jim Wooten are together.
I'm good. I am good.
So I'm sure he's missing us, but we're having fun.
But you can see how good we all look.
Yeah. We're doing good. But we're missing. All right. Well,
go back. Flash, if you would. No, I could just leave it at that. Flash, if you would.
My mom's watching.
I know. I was going to say flash onto the screen since, again, you were talking about your early love.
Yes.
I want some music to accompany that right now.
Okay.
Your early love of Disney.
Well, we're going to need you to sing because I don't have any music, but I certainly have a really cool picture to show right now.
Yeah, show those. So, there's you as Jasmine and as Ariel and as Pocahontas.
And you look beautiful in every single picture. And I mean, so obviously you sang all the parts of all these Disney characters as well as dressing up like them as well, correct?
Yes.
Wow.
At least that was a bucket list. At least I could check that off the list. I mean, actually, that was a little weird. Okay, so I got my first job at Disney, but it was as a ride operator at the park.
Oh, that's
I seem to
interesting.
remember this.
Did you sing while you put your people on the ride?
I had in my mind I was.
So yes, what land, what ride?
So as I was a ride operator, I just said, I can be a ride operator as my first solid job, make some money. But always in my back of my mind, I was like, I'm going to transition. I want to transition into the entertainment department. So instead of completely terminate and rehire, I will just keep auditioning. And back in those days, it took them a second. You audition and you re-audition for another show. And so they need to see your face and they need to see the growth that you've gone through until they finally feel that you're ready to take on these roles. And so it took me about 4.5 years or so being a ride operator and that much time of auditioning until I finally got hired as Jasmine as a sub. And then the main gal left, or she got moved to another show. And they said, would you like to fill in as the main, cast day Jasmine? So I would be working like 4 or 5 days a week that whole summer. And I said, oh my gosh, yes. Now I remember my mother being really thrilled about that. I was like, oh gosh, I don't know what anybody thinks of it. And she was really, really happy about that. I think it blew her away. I mean, I was super young, and yet at the time I felt like I was still older than everybody else in the job. Everybody else had years. They've been doing Disney since they were 16, 17. I was already approaching my early mid-20s, and I'm like, God, I feel so old.
You were so old.
Yeah, I know, I was so old. But, again, compared to those people,
I know.
already just like veterans, they already been there and done that. I was the newbie.
Wow.
So I just did my job. I kept my mouth shut and just went out and sang and didn't cause a lot of waves at the time.
And I
just led to other parts.
I know what it's like to do shows there, and it's 6 a day, maybe more?
4 to 5 shows.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And and those summer days get hot.
Oh my word.
And
it's great training ground. I mean, whether you can walk away and have enjoyed it or not, there's a time that you really love it, and then you leave the company and you don't want to tell anybody you ever worked there. You're somehow embarrassed that you were ever there, and then you finally come around and get smart and realize that was a wonderful experience. I mean, I owe about 17, 18 years, you know, not so in a row, but collectively about 17, 18 years worth of work that I put in for Disney. That's a lot of training. Just because it's fun, go back a step and tell us, in that 4.5 years of being a ride operator, what rides you operated?
Okay, so you still want to know.
I still want to know this. I want to know what that was like. I never did that.
You know what rides you got to operate?
You know, check it out. So I started on Autopia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones.
I jumped cars all summer long from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I had the worst farmer's tan you could ever imagine.
Were you in like that blue jumpsuit?
Well, because she had to wear the uniform.
And you know how much I got paid that first summer for per hour?
How much?
$4.94 an hour.
No, is that what minimum wage was back then?
That's what it was. I mean, they immediately started giving you a raise, but that first summer they figure you might not stick around. You're like a casual temporary, but I didn't plan on leaving. I wasn't just summer help. I was going to continue on. Therefore, then they're like, well, you know, you've earned your stripes. You're past your 3 months probation. We'll start training you on other attractions. I moved on to everything in Tomorrowland, and then a couple of more in Fantasyland. And then I even learned the Matterhorn right before I moved into
So you got to load people, probably push buttons and things. See, now I was the guy that...
All official. You've got the earphone on. You're talking to the tower and
check
what the bar?
Check the bar. Check the bar. Make sure it's snug.
Brenda's big on checking the bar.
Check the bar. I like checking the bar.
Yes.
Check the bar. Check the bar.
This is
Space Mountain would break down and the lights would come on and everybody'd still be in their rockets, and literally you had to manually run around the track to reset all of the brake zones. And it was like, who can do it fastest, you know? And it was like, who's going to nominate who to go? We call reset the mountain, run the mountain. So that kind of stuff. So
competition. I would have liked that.
I know.
I like to win a lot.
Yes. You do win.
Well, I try.
You bring a lot of money into this household through your winnings.
I do.
Yes. Anyway.
That's true. Wait, my mom's my.
Oh, it's all about your mom. I can save.
I'm just teasing. She knows about that. All right. Well, we know kind of what inspired you. I guess I mean, do we know what inspired you? I mean, you were just a good singer. Was there somebody in particular that inspired you, or you just felt like you had the talent, you loved to do it, and it's something that just came naturally to you?
Well, luckily, my parents, my mother, she played a lot of different genres of music in the background, and that comes into play.
Yeah.
My Uncle John. So I've probably been hearing him since I was in the womb. And he was probably a heavy influence, whether I understood it or not. He obviously played a part in how I learned how to sing. Brenda's got a nice photo that she's going to show.
As you're talking about Uncle John, I'll show a beautiful picture of you and Uncle John.
Tell us who Uncle John is and what that really means, that connection.
That was taken this year in April. So I ran over to his house and we did a little thing there for my mom's birthday. And so as it starts out, my mother's been a fan of his starting from the 50s, like 1956. As soon as she heard him sing, my God, it was probably... it's not for me to say. Now I'm going to hear about this later, Mom. I'm sure I'm getting it wrong. Just, give me a break if I get the facts wrong. But
and if anybody didn't get that, that's Johnny Mathis.
So this is Johnny Mathis. Uncle John is Johnny Mathis.
And he's 85. Look at him. He doesn't look 85.
Wow.
85.
Wow, that's amazing.
So she began as being a fan of his, and throughout the years, she became more connected into sort of the behind the scenes for John and got to know his manager. And in the early 70s, she was brought on to take care of the Johnny Mathis fan club. They needed someone to fill in the spot of the Johnny Mathis fan club president. They needed someone to write the newsletter, send out birthday cards, take on all these responsibilities. So then she ended up kind of being employed for him for many, many years. And then that's how I met him. Finally, I was 5 years old when I finally met him for the first time. And then, but the Uncle John term came about because I was 10 years old. My 10th birthday is coming along. My mom said, you know, John's never signed an autograph picture for you. She says, oh, it's about time John autographed a photo for you. So she sent one to his house. She didn't, you know, explain to him what to say. Just said, it's Jill's birthday. Can you sign this photo for her? Didn't coach him what to say. We get it back in the mail. We open it up, and then it says, you know, for Jill, all my love, Uncle John.
And that's where it began.
That's where it began. He wasn't told to write that. He just came up with it himself. And my mom's like, oh, I didn't tell him to write that. And of course, I'm 10 years old. I'm like, well, that's cool. Wow. And that's how that became. And
did you know him and have a relationship with him? Had you met him before that? You had. And so he knew who you were. He obviously felt these wonderful feelings for you and decided that he was going to label himself Uncle John. And then you continued a relationship with him through your entire life?
Oh, yeah. He had a couple of
that's amazing.
The fans threw him some anniversary parties. Like he had a big 45th career anniversary that my mother arranged in Las Vegas back in it was either 40th. Sorry, it was probably his 40th anniversary. And so my mom's like, you're going to be the MC of this party. And follow a script. Here's a script, and you're going to be up there, and you're just going to run the show and bring up all these guests and sing in front of John and all that. So yes, John has known me for many years. I've probably, in his eyes, been his youngest fan for a very long time until the next generation started having kids and stuff. And then there was maybe littler kids, but I've always was just that little kid that was sitting in the front row at the Greek theater. John.
Yeah.
Now, has he's seen you perform, I'm sure.
He has. He has, okay. Definitely.
Yeah. I was going to say, if he hasn't, he needs to.
We're always trying to get him to go to the right show, but I mean, you know, he's kind of a recluse a little bit.
Yeah, sure. It's hard for him to go out. You know, people they don't leave him alone. Some people aren't respectful of them. They want to go out and have a good time, and it's hard for them because they get approached a lot, and it's easier to stay home than it is to go out.
Oh yeah. So
there's so much else, to talk about too. I'm sorry, Jill. Yeah, there's so much else to talk about. I'd love it if you could kind of, you know, if it's a fair question, maybe, I don't know, walk us a little bit through your path as a performer and your path as you know, that leading you to finally realize, you are an art professional. I mean, I'm interested. I know that you've done lots of musical theater. I know that you've done straight plays and things, you know. Can you, I don't know, take us on that timeline a little?
Well, I mean, I'm a musical theater geek. Whether I've actually made a full-fledged living doing it, I'm just that geek. So I probably thought I was going to be a film actor at first, but then I discovered musical theater. So when you can't express yourself anymore through words, what happens? You bust into a song.
Yeah.
You paused, you froze for a second, and it sounded like you maybe were going to say you thought you were going to be a film actress. Was that what you said?
Yeah, I thought I would be a film actor, and then things led to...
Got a little pause again there.
We got film actor. That's good.
Yeah.
We got...
So I got into musical theater instead. So that started high school, college. College was a lot of choir stuff. I got a lot more into jazz music in college. Then Disney happened. Then and then that took up a big chunk of time. And then I got into cruise ships. I mean, I was always looking for ways to make a living.
Okay.
I was doing. then cruise ships happened for many, many years. And then once cruise ships stopped, there was just other projects. It led to more smaller scale musical theater, cabaret work.
Okay.
Then it led to a lot of recording session work. And then a cappella groups entered the picture. That's where I met Juan del Castillo.
Tell.
I loved that story because we chatted a little bit about that the other night, and I did not know this.
Yeah. So there was a group called Groove 66, an a cappella group at Disney's California Adventure that they had, when a cappella was big. And so they formed this group, and I came in about 6 months or so after it was formed, and Juan was one of the original members that was hired. And then I came in for the summer, and then we both closed the group out together. So I got to work with Juan, and then later on, Juan was the one I spoke to when I was kind of feeling out this tribute scene. What's this tribute scene about? I had gotten to a point where I wanted to kind of start and produce a project of my own, and I didn't quite know what it was. It was going to be a cabaret show, a musical theater cabaret type thing. What was it going to be? And then I discovered tribute bands. And then he very much encouraged me at that point. He was just like, think about it, Jill, go out, watch bands, think about it. What are you thinking about doing? Yeah, get a feel for it. You should move on it now. You should move on it quickly. Just do it. So I always kept him on the loop on my developments on how my band was going. And he was one of the first bands also that I saw at DSB. I went and saw them at like Hermosa Beach or something.
Okay, you're frozen just for a second. You're getting.
Okay, my back.
Recycling. There
we go.
There you are.
Anyway, we caught that DSB was one of the first tribute shows that you saw. As somebody, I mean, when I started entering this tribute
world
scene, it was kind of in its germination stage.
Sure.
There weren't 1,000, tribute bands in your zip code.
True.
So
yeah,
it was a little bit later for you, and you're starting to go out and see some bands, and you're thinking about, did you already have it in mind that, okay, I'm going to do Pat, or was that, were you kicking around all the possible female, people that you could pay tribute to? And then at the same time, what was your impression as you were going out, looking at this weird world of tributes? You can light more on you. You're stealing the light. That's not fair. I need to look better. Go ahead, Jill. Sorry.
Well, what came to me is before I even thought about tribute bands, I was trying to come up with a tribute show of some sort. And so before tribute bands came around, I was looking at different female artists, and I was considering, which is still not too late, I wanted to do like a tribute show with Edie Gourmet material. And I was like, there's no Edie Gourmet out there. There's who tributes Edie Gourmet?
Yeah,
and then that just sort of led to different influences. And then I was like, okay, the tribute world's more rock oriented. And throughout the years, people had made mention or comparisons to myself and Pat. And because she was an influence. I mean, I was listening to her starting with all of her first album, probably Crying to Passion, is the one that got brought into the house. My mom brought her into the house. She thought, here's this rock star, and she's little and cute and petite, like you. And look, she's just really classy and has this great voice. And I first heard her sing Heartbreaker, and I thought, what is that? Here's this angelic voice put to hard edge guitar playing and upbeat, rocking, edgy sound with this really pretty voice. And I thought, oh, you don't have to look like a wreck and look like you're, living on the streets, some typical image of somebody in rock music looking haggard and worn out. And she was like, no, she brought on this completely different image that I could relate to.
Sure.
So fast forward years later, I thought, well, tribute world, who could I do? And I was like, well, why don't I try Pat? So I researched that for a while. I looked at the other bands that were around. I said, could I make my niche? You know, could I fit in, or am I wasting my time? You know, is it already covered? Is this area covered? You know, is the Western region already done, and I shouldn't even think about it? And then I said, no, I'm going to go for it. So I and my original drummer assembled our band in 2013.
Wow, which is called
Live from Earth. Which
wow.
is the name of Pat's one and only live recorded album.
Wow.
Back in 1984. So we assembled, you know, and we rehearsed for about 6 months at least before we ever did our first show. We did not throw this band together lightly. I said, I need a lot of time for this. This is completely a different world, a different stamina, a different way of singing, and get to know everybody else. I only knew the drummer at the time. He brought in a bass player. He brought in a guitar player. And we rehearsed, like I said, and our first debut show was New Year's Eve, basically New Year's Day of 2014.
You've done, up until that point, that when you started forming this band and rehearsing it, you've done a lot of front woman singing. You've done a lot of lead roles. You've done a lot of projects where you had to be the center of focus and kind of carry the thing. Was this actually your first foray into being in a rock band and then realizing I got to lead this animal? And how, A, was it, and then B, how was that different? And what have been the challenges? I mean, running a band is a hard enough thing.
Sure.
Anyway.
And then you got the business end behind it.
You've got the business. Yes. You've got the fact that you're a woman leading men. It's all of that, right?
True.
It is all of that. It's been a learning experience. So yes, I took it all on, knowing that was the gig. Okay. Yeah. I said, I'm going to not just be the hired person. I'm going to actually have to be running it as a producer. And it's certainly not a dictatorship. It's certainly not, it's whatever I say goes.
Right.
And I had to really get used to the fact that, I'm also sort of running a bunch of men. And that now initially or theoretically, that shouldn't be a problem at all. It shouldn't. And it isn't. But I just had to get used to it. I mean, you know, there was a couple of hiccups, and I mean, but I'm with the same guys, you know. I'm all about like loyalty, and I'm like, if you guys want to work with me and I want to work with you, and I don't have any intentions on, you know, changing this up. If, you know, you really piss me off, you're out.
Well, I like what you said about it's not a dictatorship, because that is true. Every single musician has their own talent, or their own desire to be a musician. When you bring all those talents together and everybody feels recognized and validated, I think that's what makes a band a family. When you do that, and I think that's very important that you recognize that and you see that.
Yeah, and then that took a second to figure out what kind of responsibility everybody is good at. You know, delegate. You'll take care of the website. You'll take care of the set list. You'll take care of this, you know, is feeling it out, you know, and I'm probably a bit resistant to new things or change at first. You know, I've gotten better at it, and, you know, my band can certainly attest to that. But it has all worked itself out. Absolutely. Yeah. Now I think it's a pretty well-oiled machine at this point.
Well, you know, right. It takes, you know, you coming from the background that you do, we should get more into, you know, the directing you've been able to do, the teaching and that kind of thing, producing, being a part of a producing body that produces musical theater, all that informs the way that you work. And in the case of being where you are with a rock band, you have a sense of show. You have a sense of the way things ought to be. Your band looks to you to have some of those answers because that's your wheelhouse. And you have to be tough in that way. And then you have to sort of balance your feminine projections of, now I got to go out and, you know, try to do the sexy lady thing. And that's a lot to juggle. Yeah. You know, you don't get to just be the girl.
Yeah.
You know.
No. They're always surprised when they see me arriving maybe early. They see me arriving with an entire PA system in my car. And I mean, I've set up PA systems, you know, and then I kind of disappear. No one really understanding who I was initially. They just thought, oh, she's the roadie, she's the tech, whatever. And then I come out and like,
girlfriends.
oh no, she's the singer. You know, I had a gig at the top of the Roosevelt Hotel, and they saw me early setting up. I'm up there with the florists and the wedding planners and all of that. And then I ended up not even only singing for the gig, but actually emceeing. And then at the end of the night, it was such a madhouse trying to get out of there. I got kind of locked up at the top of the Roosevelt with everybody else at the very end. I'm up there still with whoever's tearing down the PA and the florist and this and that. And they're like, didn't you just do the show? And I'm like, yeah. And I've got, you know, cables and a speaker on me. It just, this is, you learn, you have to learn every aspect of the business. Part of producing, part of what I did in theater is learned behind the scenes, on stage. You learn about payroll. You learn about advancing a gig. You learn about lights, and you learn about audio. You learn everything. You should have your, you know, knowledge, at least, not necessarily have your hands in everything, unless, you know, you are the producer. You should be sort of the liaison of everything going on. May we weave back again, just into, again, some of your diverse experience as a producer of shows, as a director of shows, maybe even touch on what you do with the kids as well and how specialized that is. Gosh, well, the kids, and that, you know,
tell us about that. We haven't set that up for anybody. So actually what it is that you work, the company you work for, and what you do with kids.
Yeah, the Jack's Theatricals. I mean, I taught many years private voice lessons. And then in 2016, I got brought on for Jack's Theatricals, which is kind of now it's like a kids conservatory. It's a kids entertainment organization, you know, nonprofit organization. We go to school sites and basically provide for them a theatrical experience. If they don't have a theater department, you know, this could be a middle school or a junior high. Actually, that's the same thing. Middle school or elementary school or a high school. We come in and give them a full-fledged Broadway production experience. Now, when COVID happened, we had to move a lot of that to online. We did a lot of Zoom rehearsals and even made it happen, a production on Zoom. And then Jack's Theatricals acquired the theater that has gone through so many names. I'm sure people out there might remember the Met Theater or the Doma Theater. It's the one that's right off of Santa Monica Boulevard in Western. It's on Oxford Street. So now it is the Jack's Theater. And we also have, in addition to going to schools and providing shows for them, we also have a conservatory at the theater, which kids can come to. That we have a complete summer program. Like right before I got out here, we did Rent. I was the musical director for Rent, and we brought in a live band. So then, as musical director, now you get thrown in to the back. The band is on stage, and you're going to run the sitz probe, and you're going to conduct the band. So you're working off of a score, and these guys come in and sight read, and we are boom, we're off. That's it.
Wow.
And I'm conducting, and you know, I don't do it enough to feel totally comfortable in it. So I'm always like, gentlemen, I'll see you on the other side. Hope we make it. Hope we all end each song at the same time. And you know, act one is one song, and act two, it's a rock opera, one song. So, I mean, it's another skill set that by default and as a wonderful experience to have to learn that and then be a conductor as well, which is actually tied in very well into my band. You know, it's been a nice parallel to be able to do both, because you get, and then now I can run the band with ease, with a little more confidence now than I did beginning.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, do you find that, you know, teaching, is that a natural, does that come naturally for you? Are you something of a natural teacher? Or
yeah, I didn't think I was at first. Yeah. And then, I mean, there's times I come home and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. What am I doing? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah. These kids must think Miss Jill's an idiot. Always. I just think they're looking at me like, she's an idiot. It's just what we're talking about.
She's an idiot.
We're going to go home and we're going to tell our parents she's not on it. You know, you have those moments as well, because these kids are really on it. And that's great. But I mean, I started teaching probably in some form or another, I'd say 2004, 2005. I even did some seminars at Disney, in fact.
Oh, wow.
So that was like a 90-minute seminar. They'd bring in guest groups, and you know, it's like, that's it. You got 90 minutes with these kids to teach.
That's like, I want to be a princess.
Well, no. So what was it? First of all, yeah. What happens in that 90 minutes? Do you lecture and then you take people through exercises? Are you, are these like corporations and things that come in? That's
been a while. That was called Tune In. And I think the point of that seminar, it was more lecturing. We did get them involved in some kind of game show, mockery of a game show and stuff. I think it was basically how music influences what it is you're seeing on screen, for one thing. So so we kept using examples of Disney, you know, how the emotions, how music is affecting what you're seeing and what the whole experience, you know. If you want a sad moment in a film, what type of song, what type of tempos, you know, we would incorporate music theory. What type of song do you think would fit this moment in Toy Story 2 best? You know, they would use the When Somebody Loved Me from Toy Story 2. So the lights dim and they have a projection and they would show it. So, so the lights would come up right after that song was done. And, you know, you always saw some kid out there. And these kids were crying. I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. It makes you cry. And I said, that is precisely the effect we're looking for when you using music in these certain moments. What effect, what feelings, emotions are you trying to conjure up at that moment?
Sure. So, yeah. Sure. Well, and you also, I mean, can we jump around a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not running this.
I want to show some fun pictures of you doing, and I don't know if some may remember and some may not, Ultimate Jam Night at the Whiskey. Boy, those were some fun. Were they Wednesday nights? Or Tuesday?
Oh my gosh.
Or like
Tuesday.
They
jumped around. It was either Monday or Tuesday nights. Now it's been so damn long, I don't remember. But it was Monday or Tuesday nights was Ultimate Jam Night, and they were doing it every single week.
When you show that picture,
and Gig likes to call this picture, we call it Ultimate Jam Night.
No, Ultimate Ab Night.
But Gig calls this picture Ultimate Ab Night. Because
I think your abs were at their peak, probably.
My God.
Well, there's.
You look like a G.I. Joe.
That is just like, that is not fair. Okay. I just will say it right now. That is not fair.
That's the result of high energy rock music. Actually, a lot of it.
Oh, I mean, you look fantastic.
Oh,
fantastic. You always look fantastic, though. And here's another fun one of you doing Liza Minnelli.
Yes, that is an actual dress, gown, red sequins worn by Liza Minnelli in the film from, I think, the 1976 or 77. I could be getting it wrong. The film called New York, New York. And I believe she actually sings New York, New York wearing that gown. And Actually, you can kind of see it on the floor to the left there. It starts off with a black cape.
Oh yeah.
When you get into the song, you make this big reveal into that red dress, and then the cape ends up on the ground, and you finish the song. And we wear these dresses in a cabaret review that called Hollywood Revisited.
Beautiful.
So Greg Schreiner is the owner of all these dresses and the producer and the MC and the pianist of the show. So he collected all these gowns. So we get to wear real gowns worn by Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland, Ginger Rogers, Rita Hayworth, and Betty Davis,
right?
So on and so on.
Wow, what an honor.
Yeah. I've seen the show. It's fun. It's a neat kind of just device that provides an opportunity to sing songs and look stunning.
Yeah.
And once again, and there's no other show like it, because you're not going to find these costumes anywhere else. So we've really built this show around the costumes. We might be singing something that they actually sang in the film, wearing it, something similar. If they didn't sing anything in that dress, then it's something they sang in another film or something that's appropriate for the dress.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they approached me about it because they're like, well, we have all of these really tiny dresses.
Are they tiny?
I'm sure they are.
Or are they still getting pinned in on you?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of Mitzi Gaynor dresses that it's just like, and you have like exactly 1 minute to put them on.
And I bet they're heavy.
I'm sure they are.
It's just this rotation.
Yeah.
So one person's out on stage, one person might be on standby, and someone's trying to squish your butt into a Mitzi Gaynor dress all in about 30 seconds. And all the while trying to be very delicate with this old material that might rip at any time, and hopefully we have a dresser back there who doesn't quite understand what they've gotten themselves into when they took this job. It's the real show is backstage with, hats and Betty Davis getting thrown over there and Fred Astaire's getting put on, and it's mayhem backstage.
Wow.
And the fact that you get to do both Betty Davis and Fred Astaire is really just a sign of your versatility.
Yes, funny. I want to wear Fred Astaire's white tie and tail, definitely.
Yeah. Dance with the hat rack. Do you want to show that picture you were aiming at?
I mean, let's talk about your meeting in 2016 with somebody who you pay tribute to a lot.
Oh my gosh! It's funny. There she is. So, I got to watch a podcast of hers just the other night that she got to do, and of course she's 68 and is stunning as ever, of course. I mean, she hasn't aged a bit. And I love watching how evolved she's become throughout the years. You watch early interviews of her, and the persona she gives on stage is barely anything like what her interviews are. She was just very kind of soft spoken. I mean, she knew what she wanted, but it was just, everything was just kind of very low key. And now she's so open, so knows herself. She's had 2 kids. She has 2 granddaughters. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, it just, makes me cheer. It's like that is the person you want to become. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know how many decades or how many years it's going to take for you to finally come into your own. And now she's just like, if I don't like something, F off, whatever. She's just is full of more confidence of herself and on stage. I mean, she just kills it all the time. But that photograph there is from an event in 2016. I was informed by a producer friend of mine. This is a daytime event in downtown Los Angeles. It was a fundraiser of some sort, and her and Neil are receiving an award. So my friend, Chris Isaacson, he says, Jill, says, I'm doing this event and Pat's going to be there. And I want to get you in, you know, maybe I can get you to sing. I got to get you in somehow. Well, all of his plans kind of failed. And I said, just get me in as a guest. I don't care. I'll do the rest. I just need to be there. So basically I crashed this event. Tim and I crashed the event.
The dress is gorgeous.
Get in there. And she, you know, the courtyard, you know, everybody's having drinks. And then eventually everybody was led into lunch and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. How the hell am I going to, what am I doing here? What am I going to say? So I watched her leave, and she's got her friends with her. She's got her posse with her, which she should, you know, don't go to the bathroom. Girls always go to the bathroom with each other, right? They got to help each other out. And they all go walk into the restroom, and she comes back out. And I said, it's now or never, you know, just grab your balls and decide this is what you're going to do right now. Just do it, you know? And I'm sitting there staring at the ground. I'm just like,
balls.
Yeah.
Hi, and I just walk in front of her. I'm like, hi, and you know, I don't even know what the hell I said. The whole conversation lasted about 2.5 minutes. And I just said who I was. I said, hi, I'm Rita. You know, I have a band. Really, the point of me introducing myself was to literally ask her for permission. I said, I'm running a band. It's a tribute band to you. I'm literally kind of getting your sort of approval, or your what's another word for approval? You know, your
not, you don't mean endorsement. You're just well, you said permission though. You know,
yeah,
I know what she's looking for. She's looking for
you know what I'm saying, not an endorsement, just, you know, kind of your approval, your
blessing. That's what you're looking for. Is that what you're looking for?
Blessing's a good word. Okay. Yes, that's it. That's it.
Just to let you know. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, she might have a lawyer who's not going to tell her anything about this. And this lawyer's going to come after me and send me a cease and desist letter.
Which happens quite a bit.
Yeah. So yes, it does. So I'm kind of looking for your blessing, permission to just, so you know, I'm just letting you know. And then she's all, oh, honey, she says, all that stuff's public domain. It's fine. You know, it's fine, you know, and I was just like, oh, okay. And then she looks over and she grabs my hair and she's like, oh, I miss my short hair, you know, and we might have said a couple of more things. And then, you know, I said, I don't want to like ask you for a photo, but I'd be an idiot if I don't get one real quick though. I said, you know, I don't want to ruin the moment and be a dumb fan.
Yeah.
So Tim snapped a photo real quick. And then that was it. Again, everything was lovely. And then she walked away. And you know how things are, there's a delayed reaction. I think it took me about another couple of minutes. And then I had my meltdown.
Well, you know what is so cool about that photo is I know you have a second and one photo to get it right. And that is a darn good photo. You got lucky on that one because that is beautiful.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
it's a good picture.
I look a little misty-eyed and that was it. But really, it wasn't about I want a photo with you. I just said I got to let you know this is happening, and is it okay? And she said yes, and I was like, thank God. And I haven't had another encounter with her since, although I've seen her in concerts almost every year since then. There's concerts now that I've missed because literally she was doing a concert the same night I was doing a concert. So I can't see her because I'm here in Big Bear doing her music. Sorry. So oops, I can't be at the Greek Theater to see her. But her fan club heads, like her fan club administration, like the three main folks that run her fan club actually came out to Las Vegas to see me. And I was, I was honored with that. I was like, really? Wow. I'm not the real thing, is that cool?
Word must have got out. Word must have got out.
Larry asks a good question up there. We're popping back into the comments, Jill, because we've amassed a lot of them. And maybe people have things they might want to know about you. Larry's right there. Well, there was, that's a nice one from Chuck.
This one says, Larry. Okay.
Chuck says a nice thing right there.
Jill is.
Can you read that, Jill?
Yeah. Interesting guest ever. Well, thank you. Yes, she is.
That's going to piss off Katie Darrell, too.
It's going to piss off Katie Darrell.
I'm all about pissing off Katie. Nice. Katie, are you watching? I love you.
So can you see Larry's question right there, Jill?
Who else would you pay tribute to if you had a chance? Okay.
Edie Gourmet. Yeah.
That's a good question. Well, earlier I had said I was thinking about more of a cabaret style. I was like, oh, I would have loved to have done Edie Gourmet. And it's not that it's too late. But the one in the same vein, kind of an unconventional, not a tribute band per se, but maybe a tribute show, more of in a cabaret style situation. You don't have to look like the person, but you're doing all of their music and all their genres, and the person is, and don't kill me, Shannon and Donna, and I know, don't kill me. You know what I'm gonna say. I mean, because before Pat, there was Linda Ronstadt.
Yes.
but I wouldn't do it dressed up. I wouldn't do it as let's hire a one singular band and go out and try and put on that show, because Linda had so many different genres, as you know, as she progressed. Yeah. So it would have to be just let's present all of her music as authentically as possible, but without the wigs and the costume. I mean, you could do little things here and there. In fact, I think Ann Hampton Calloway does a tribute to her. And I think she might even bring in a small orchestra. I don't know, but that would be really cool to kind of recreate some of her songs. So it's the same thing. She pays tribute to her, but she's not coming out looking like her, but she does a selection of Linda's music. So, I mean, there's right off the bat, it was something I was thinking about pre-COVID. You know, I have like 15, 16 songs that take you from pre-Eagles, you know, pop country, into her Nelson Riddle, into her Canciones de Mi Padre album, and you know, even like some of the, God, what else was there? I mean, thinking off the top of my head, all of the different genres that she threw into her career.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
she was saying, "Don't do it," and she's like, "I'm going to do it."
You can do something from Pirates of Penzance if you know. Well, but the thing. Yes. But you're right. You know, we are limited when we do normal tribute band type shows, often to it being a hits show. Sure. And there are things that you just sort of have to, there are marks that you have to hit in doing the types of shows that we do. But when you say, no, I'm going to do more of a theater piece or a cabaret type piece, you know, you have license to decide what that vehicle is going to be. And so you can weave in and out of those genres and those eras in a different way.
And I would bring in guest singers, because in fact I know that, you know, she went through her big duets phase as well. She did a duet with Aaron. She did a duet with, you know, she did a lot of moving things, a lot of placement songs.
Yeah, so right.
I would try and, you know, fit as much into, you know, like a 90-minute just show. And she's still with us, but she's only going out kind of doing interviews. She's not able to sing anymore, is the way she would like to, because of her Parkinson's.
Sure.
Unfortunately. Yeah. But you know, that's another one. That would be the quickest that I could think of, is to kind of create and whip out, would be Linda.
Sure.
Is that kind of an answer to a what's next, you know, for Jill? I mean, you mentioned, of course, doing all the Disney work. That was one of your bucket list things. And I'm not necessarily even talking about a bucket list thing, but, you know, we're always thinking ahead, especially for somebody as diverse as you are, who has done a lot and continues to do a lot as an entertainer. What's that thing, or is there a thing hanging out there that you say, yeah, I gotta get around to that? I mean, maybe it's just what you were talking about.
That, what I just mentioned. I mean, I was thinking about that again right before COVID hit, and I was assembling a song list and thinking about venues and thinking about how to assemble a band. And, you know, I'd like to revisit that somehow. I thought, oh, I'm going to go in a studio and do a CD tribute to, oh, actually, that would still be nice to do, like
a CD or something, or a tribute that's just really seedy.
Yeah. I'm going to do a CD tribute. No, I wanted to do,
I'm going to wear costumes made out of garbage.
Yes. And sing Michel Legrand material. Oh. See, if anybody knows or remembers who Michel Legrand is.
Oh, there we are. There we are. We're back. We've been away for a second.
Yep.
I will have to do Michel Legrand music. So that's
I love Michel. What are you doing the rest of your life?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
well,
that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, well, we know what you're doing now. You're doing Legends, and you're doing Legends until the 8th of September, correct?
Yeah. Well, that show's the 9th. I'll be home on the 10th.
Okay, so you'll be home on the 10th, and then you're going to pick up Live from Earth again, and you're scheduled. Yay!
Yes, I'm going to be with my guys. Yeah, we've got September 18th in La Quinta. They are going to have their Concerts in the Park series. They thought they were going to start it early in the summer, but it ends up we're kicking off their season September 18th. And then we have the Bakersfield Music Hall of Fame, which was a postponement of last year. And so now it's rescheduled, and really looking forward to that. That'll have my full band. It'll be, Tim, Rick, Trevor, and Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be a 90-minute show. So that one looking forward to as well.
That's great.
All we got on the books right now, and just hoping that, nothing else gets canceled.
Yes, I know. It's shaky, but I think we're in good shape. Do you think we're in good shape?
I have one other question, but this has just actually become a really interesting topic to me, and I think it's a question I'll ask more performers, and especially performers that are really diverse in background and what they do. People see performers, they see a fairly polished product, but I've had this discussion with more and more people now. The things that go through one's head while working can be so far off of what you're doing. What for you is the experience of fronting a band, having huge responsibility on your shoulders, or it doesn't even have to be the band. You could be talking about any other experience, and realizing that, wow, I've been on autopilot and I have been seeing this and my brain just went somewhere. You got to catapult yourself back. You got to pull yourself back in. Is there a story of that happening to you, or can you even just talk about the weird crap that comes into one's mind when performing?
Like driving home and being home, and then how did I get here?
I know
does that question
people
make
talk about autopilot and stuff, and that may have happened at Disney when we were doing 5 shows a week and stuff, but there's no way in hell I can do that now. I mean, if I'm distracted and it's still show related, it's still what's going on with audio, my ears are out, I don't know what's happening with the wedges, I don't know what's going on over there, what's going on behind me, whatever. But I even here doing Branson, I know people are like, yeah, I'm up there playing or dancing, and I'm thinking about doing my laundry. There's no freaking way I can do that. I will be so lost. I'm still focusing so hard on those freaking words. And even though that's gotten better, I can't multitask in that manner.
Yeah.
It's got to be show related, but something totally different. I'm certainly not up there thinking about what I'm going to eat after the show. No, I'm not that talented. There's no.
Well, I think that's probably going to be a common answer. I think it's those things that you realize you're thinking ahead, or there is a technical challenge, and you still have to keep the face on, and then realize, wait a minute, there's nothing I can do about this right now. And you have to just pull yourself back into the moment and say, let me live in the music.
Oh, yeah.
So we have Larry who cannot wait to see you. But Pamela has a question. Do you ever play Hilltop? Are you planning on playing Hilltop? Do you have any plans in the future too?
I would like to. Yes. That is yet to be booked. In fact, walk with me, because I think my phone is going to die here soon. So hang on. You're going to get to see my condo. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Well, we're almost finished anyway. We don't.
Look at that.
Oh,
You guys are getting one intimate show, man. You're in my bedroom, all right?
Yeah.
You feel privileged.
Do you have pants on?
Yes, I got dressed for this interview. Larry said, "What? I know now. I'm distracted. See, now I'm distracted." Larry is saying, "Oh, they're talking about Hilltop." I would like to do Hilltop. In fact, I believe Martin is his name, who is the promoter booker for that event. I think he was at our show in San Bernardino, so I think he saw us. So I kind of have to follow up for that. Like, dude, you saw he actually sat and watched part of our show there. So I do need to follow up with him. I would like to do Hilltop. We, Live from Earth, would like to do Hilltop. I know it's a trek out there. I know it's a long drive. But hell, they're like, they're booking and then people want to come, and if everybody plays it cool and remains safe, we'll go out and do it.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. We had so much fun, and we got to see your bedroom.
Yes.
And we got to see your condo.
So what would you like to know about us?
Lovely, I know. It's just you're getting the intimate, the whole intimate experience here. Hey, it's Branson. And Branson's wonderful. I got
so much fun.
And the break many legs on the rest of the Branson run.
Yep, and we can't wait.
Not yours, just those of other people.
Maybe we'll do a Granville something, when you get back.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, let me do a shout out first off just to Branson. Everything out here has been stupendous. The band, the dancers, the management, everybody, it is wonderful. I'm sure everybody's wondering, how is it out there? What's it like? Oh, Branson's Branson. It's so different. And it's like, it's great. It's different from LA, but would you expect anything less? It's just wonderful. So thank you. And the cast, and I'll post more videos of
and the Ozarks.
Oh, that's right. The Ozarks.
So,
trees.
Oh, that's right.
Everywhere.
That's right. Wow.
Very, very green, very lush, very humid, but it makes for very soft skin, right?
Yes, I'm sure.
And then just a shout out, of course, to my band at home, Live from Earth.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you for putting up with me and wait for me to get home and rehearsing and reviewing stuff while I'm gone. These people have been with me for, a very long time. So
yeah,
thank you guys so much, and the guys and lady, for sticking it out and making it work no matter what, even in these hard times. We're gonna just have fun, because we don't know how much longer anybody's gonna be able to do this. So it's just about have fun.
You're right.
For people who want to see you and enjoy yourselves, because it could just all go away in a second.
Sure. Right. 100%.
Thanks, Jill.
All right. Well, thank you again, and we can't wait for you to get back.
Yes.
And I'm sure your band is wanting you to get back very soon to get going again. So
thank you for making my first time subbing for Jim. The first time. A wonderful experience. Yeah. First time.
It was fun. First time, but not last.
I want to be the sub.
Because I have a feeling Jim's going to start getting busy, and we have to keep this thing going. So now that I have
but I know what you guys are going to do. You're going to make this guest host spot like a rotating thing, all a bunch of different guest hosts.
Well,
I'll never get another
one
opportunity.
Could be better than you, Gigs. Why would we do that?
How about one time maybe me and Katie Darrell sub for both of you?
I don't think so.
She's like, whose
All
house
right.
is this? Whose house are we broadcasting? Well, you got your interview. This is like the most ideal position for you, Gary, is doing this. So this is perfect. You're the number one call man after Jim. All right.
You really are. You really are.
He has so many subs for so many things. I'm just happy to be on the list.
You know what? You were first on the list.
I know that.
You were first.
I do know that. Yes.
We love you, Jill.
All
Have a
right,
good night. I know it's late for you, but thank you again so much for spending time with us. We had a great time with you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, Jill.
All right.
Chat you up when you're back.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And we got to find out a lot of really cool things about her.
Yeah, we did.
That
I
was
think
really
it's
super neat.
it's really it's nice to have so many topics to be able to visit, with somebody, and for the WAW viewers. I'm sorry, what does that stand for? Wine and whining?
Wine and wine.
Okay. Which we will need, I think.
Yes,
yeah,
we are
soon.
going to go get some WAW in a little bit. But again, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for the comments and dropping in. And I know there's a lot of comments that we did not get to. They come through really quickly, but I'm going to do my best to answer what I can. And I know Jill will probably pop on and answer what she can as well. So,
and thank you everybody for tolerating, me keeping Jim's seat warm. He will be back next week.
Yep. Next week. Oh, it's a surprise. Okay. So I will be putting out a September at a glance. Are we in September already?
Just about. It's right around the corner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will be letting you guys know what exciting guests. We actually have five Wednesdays in the month of September. So we have 5 guests. Well, didn't we already have you on?
Yes.
Do you want to come on again?
Hey, you're having Ray Coco on again, right?
We are. Ray's going to be on next
Now
week.
that things have gotten really sophisticated, it's okay. I'm not going to do impressions next time.
Wait, are you keeping track of who we have on twice now? Because you just nonchalantly said that. Well, you had Ray Coco on twice, but I'm just saying.
I'm really going completely Katie now.
All right, you guys, have a great week. We'll see you next week. We have Ray Coco next week from PureBread. The bread tribute that they're actually playing with tonight. So have a good week. We love you, and we'll see you next week, where important topics they are largely ignored
and foolishness reigns supreme.
Bye, guys.